up, Dog Millionaire in the house here? I'm your host for our Week 4 preview show. And of course, I'm coming to you live from Philadelphia via our 6 Degrees satellite link. Man, we have a lot to talk about. We've had some major blowout wins, teams going 0-3, teams going 3-0. We had some nail biters, man, under a point and you lose. No bueno. That's not good, but good for the winner there. Anyway, there's a lot to talk about. We got Cup Date going on. We have our buy or sell segment, and with our special guest coming to you from Make America Gronk again. Can't wait to talk to you about that. Of course, we got that sharp bets of the week. He's 1-0, folks. You want to make some money, this is the time to do it. Anyway, there is a lot to talk about. Let's get right into it. Let's go. All right, guys, let's get into our Week 3 review. We had 7 matchups, right? 14 teams, so let's knock them down. Of course, we're going to start with mine. So it was Sensimon versus Miles here, and Danny gets his much-needed win. And I'm telling you guys, I am getting bitter. I start losing some more. These podcasts are going to start to change. Anyway, I go 0-3 in this one. Danny goes 1-2. Not much to talk about. I mean, from my team, I had Cam with a very disappointing first game on my team. That was brutal. Didn't like it. Hill gets 20 plus. Everybody else under 15. That's not good enough. On Danny's team, Henry with 28, Breeze with 25. Pat's defense gets him 18. You know, he just put together a good solid day. Scores him a decent amount of points, but boy, did I stumble, and I just handed him the win. That's a blowout. Danny gets the win there. Let's move on to Rocky's Red Rocket versus the Great Chili Cook-Off. What a buzzer beater, man. This came down to it right to the end. Lamar Jackson getting just enough points on that final drive to take the win there. Pretty crazy. Neither team had their best week, though. No, it didn't. Kevin with 20 points out of that Tampa Bay defense. Pretty crazy. Gallup getting 29. Jackson having a soft game like he did the week before, right? And hopefully he's starting to turn it around there for Kevin's team. Much needed to get him more points of that. Anyway, Chris's team getting 17 from Elliott, Ridley getting 17, and his kicker getting 15. That's about all Chris had. It was a tough game to watch, but Kevin squeaks out the win. Again, a much-needed win for Kev's team. He goes 1-2. Great Chili Kickoff. He drops to 2-1. All right, moving on. We had Women Do It Better versus the greatest of all time. Wow. Talk about major points coming out of the greatest of all times. 182. My Lord, there was not much Kelsey could do to help defend that one, even with a solid score of 141. Listen, 43 points out of Pat Mahomes, 26 out of James Conner, 30 out of Robinson, 28 out of that Indy defense, which I just about snagged from you. That's a lot of points. 28 points out of a defense. That is a lot of points. Anyway, Kelsey streamlined that great flex player there, Andy Isabella. That was a real solid move. You earned the accolades for it, but not enough to get you the win. So, greatest of all times, notches the victory there. Moving on. Show me your TDs versus 2 apples and a lemon cookie. Listen, lemon cookie flexes her muscles on Alex's team. She had 3 touchdowns before it was halftime in the first set of games. Alex already knew he was out of it at that point. Watson, Cooper, and her kicker all over 15. It was fantastic. And it was just a solid week there. Alex, you know, he didn't put in his best effort, but Tracy went after, you know, the first team in our league, the second team in our league. Now she's going after some chum, and she takes care of business there. It was a really good one. Alex is going to quickly forget this one. Anyway, moving on to the next game. Hanjolo versus Team Momo. 5-point win by Andy on this one. Pretty crazy. Yeah, he had 146 on the week. Another heavy point week. Momo trying to get in the win column. She really needed it, but it was just a tough matchup. Look at Kamara, Wilson combined for 88 points. That's a lot of points between 2 players right there. Pretty much carried Andy's team. I mean, he had a 0 and a .9er. Whew, didn't matter. Again, 88 points out of 2 players. They took it over for him. Momo getting 31 out of Eckler and 25 out of Chubb. She clearly doesn't have a running back issue on her team. She just has an everything else issue. Anyway, it was a tough loss for Momo, and that's a good win for Hanjolo. He still sits top of the table. We'll get into standings here in a second. Next matchup, we had Lynchburg Lynx versus Make America Gronk again, and this was another close matchup. Lynx ends up pulling out the victory on this one, a surprise to everyone. I mean, he's been having some pretty soft weeks. Anyway, Jason getting some major points out of his wide receiver position, 74 points out of the wide receivers he threw out last Sunday, Monday. That was pretty crazy. And old man Brady bounced back, getting him a solid 24. the week before, just getting him a few shekels there. So good to see Brady getting him some points. And Mark just didn't get what he needed to from Diggs, right? 14 points out of Diggs. Mixon only getting 8.5. That's just not good enough, right? That's just not going to work for Mark's team, especially when you're going against a very energized Jason's team. Puts up a lot of points there. So good win by the Lynchburg Lynx. Then we're going to go Saved by the Bell versus Minimum is Good Enough. I like the team name here. Minimum is Good Enough. All right, so this one was tight, 0.38 points. That's a slim margin between the two. Let's snatching it at the end. I mean, let's just get rid of the kicker, right? We got to get rid of the kicker. Rob's now on board. No more kicker. Let's get at the kicker here. But looking, RB position was not an issue for Rob this time around. He got 36 points out of him, right? He traded for Singletary, got great points. Henderson, who's looking like the feature guy coming out of the Rams. That's perfect for him. And then Allen did great with 33. But when you got Lockett going for 41 and the Niners defense getting 14, boy, Rob, you needed just a little bit more, man. You just needed 10 more yards. 10 more yards would have gotten you where you needed to go. Anyway, it was a tough matchup, and Minimum is Good Enough takes the win there. Anyway, that's our Week 3 review. If you got the win, congratulations, losers. Welcome to the club. All right, League, let's get into our standings. So after 3 weeks, we're starting to see some separation here. So looking at the top, you got Hans Yolo. He is 3-0 with 471 points for. That is massive. All right. Number 2, Minimum is Good Enough. He's got 391 points for. Pretty crazy. Coming in third, Lynchburg Lynx. He's also 3-0. He's got 370 points for us. So that's our 3-0. That's our cream of the crop right now. They've had a really good week so far. Look at this. Make America Gronk again. He is 2-1, 446 points for. He is number 2 in the points for category. You got a good team there, Mark. Looking in, coming in number 5th after a massive win, greatest of all times, 415 points for. Number 6, Greatest Chili Cook-Off. That's 2-1. He's coming in 6th, 375 on the points for. And rounding out your top half, that's 2 apples and a lemon cookie, sneaking in at 1-2, 413 points for. She's trying to put some wins together, so watch out there. Coming in the second half, look at this, Saved by the Bell. He is 1-2, 405 on the points for meter. There you go, Saved by the Bell. Number 9, Women Do It Better, 385 points for. Not too great. Probably why you're 1-2. Rocky's Red Rocket coming in 10th. That's 340 points for. You had a good win there. All right, number 11, this is Show Me Your TDs, 328 points for. Real soft week that he had last week. Coming in number 12 after sneaking out a win there, that is Miles Ahead of you, 321 points for. Coming in 13th, that's Team Momo, 395 points for. That's just a tough matchup. You don't really belong in the bottom 2. Coming in number 14, that's me. 0-3, total of 319.28 points for. Nothing too great. All right, looking at the most points against, let's call it out right now. That's 452. Of course it is. Women Do It Better took a thrashing last week. So she's on the highest when it comes to points against and the least amount of points against. Boy, he's had quite the cupcake schedule. That's the Great Chili Cook-Off. 280 points against. You give that schedule to anybody else, they'd be 3-0. He's only 2-1. Anyway, those are your standings right now, guys. Keep it up. All right, guys, I got a prize for you, man. We're going to bring up the 6 Degrees rant line. Really excited about this. We had a ton of people actually call in, so I appreciate everybody that called in. Let's keep those calls coming. You don't have to call once. Call twice. Call on Sunday. Call on Monday. Call on Tuesday. Anyway, I got 3 of them. I foiled them down. These are my favorites, so I want you to take a listen. And here we go.
Rant line. I was thinking about this for a very long time, about how we have a number of owners in our league who are either now retired or working from home, and they seem to have an unfair advantage with regards to being able to have a second screen up while they're working, or deciding just to go away to the rim for whatever reason. And my thought was, that's an unfair advantage. But then I looked at their teams, and they're really not that good. So keep overanalyzing everything, Kevin. Keep going to the rim, Sherry. keep these crappy teams going. Enjoy your time at home or being retired. Whereas us working people have to go into the office every day. We'll just keep grinding away and we'll win this league. So there's my rant. Enjoy.
Appreciate it, Rob. That was a great rant. Thanks for calling the rant hotline. Really appreciated it. All right, so next up, here it is. Tune it.
Hey, this is the Great Chili Cook-Off. I'm just calling to drop a rant about last week's performance of my team and Kevin's bullshit win. I just wanted to say, spending $37 fat dollars on that piece of shit running back was probably the worst move I've made in both seasons. 2 points? I could have played anybody else and won that matchup. And for Kevin to have Lamar Jackson only get the amount of points he did to make my heart feel like I could win was also some messed up crap. I don't enjoy that. Losing by 0.8 points or whatever it was does not make me happy. Just blow me out if you're going to do it. Just blow me out of the water. I don't like it. End rant.
Another solid rant. Thanks for calling, Chris. Really appreciate it. Man, you had a tight matchup. Anyway, so this is our last caller. Go for it.
Hello, League. This is your future champ, the greatest of all times. The question of the week is why? Why is it that week after week, year after year, decade after decade, I am always kicking everyone's ass? And why is it week after week, year after year, decade after decade, that Michael Sheffy's team is always sucking monkey dick every fucking year? So just remember, the greatest of all time is not just a team name. No. It's a lifestyle.
Wow, I don't know why we're taking a shot at me here. Listen, I know I don't have the best team. I'm sitting 0-3, but I'm putting the pods together, so I'd appreciate if you were a little bit more nice next time. Anyway, thanks for calling the 6 Degrees rant line. Really appreciate it, guys and girls. Anyway, guys, call the rant line. Please call the rant line. This is a great way to get on the pod. All right, League, here is our cup date. We're at a week 1. Let's talk about it. Let's see who won or lost. So in Group A, you had Show Me Your TDs. Lucky you. You were on a bye. All right. It was Greatest of All Times versus Team Momo. Greatest of All Times. You had a massive week. You took the win there. Lynchburg Lynx versus Miles ahead of you. Good win by the Lynx on that one. It was a Great Chili Cook-Off versus Saved by the Bell. Saved by the Bell takes that one down. So pretty good there. All right. Group B, Sensimon. Thank goodness I was on a bye. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. You had 2 apples and a lemon cookie going against Rocky's Red Rocket. Lemon cookie takes the win on that one. Frog's team, which is minimum is good enough, going against Make America Gronk again. Minimum is good enough, takes a win. That's a 140 to a 135, so sneaking out a win there. Good win by Frog's team. And then it was Hans Yolo versus Women Do It Better. Hans Yolo takes the win on that one, 146-20 to a 141. It was just a real tight matchup, and Kelsey lost by a nail biter on that one. So, looking at our standings here, you have Goat, Bell, Lynch, and TDs currently sitting in the top 4. That's your advancement stage or rank there. And then in Group B, you got Hans, From, Cookie, and Sensimon. Again, a couple teams that had to buy. So, going into week 2, you got Momo versus Show Me Your TDs. You got Miles ahead of you. You're on a bye this week, so you can have a soft week if you want to. Greatest of All Time going against Saved by the Bell. And the Lynchburg Lynx going against a Great Chili Cook-Off. That's Group A. Group B, you got Rocky's Red Rocket going against Sensimon. It's a double matchup for both of us, man. We're going against each other already. It was Make America Gronk again. You are on the bye. 2 apples and a lemon cookie going against Women Do It Better. We got a female matchup here. Let's see what happens. And it's Frog's team. Minimum is good enough going against Hans Yolo. That looks to be a good matchup as they're sitting at the top of the standings. So, anyway, that's our League Cup date. Pretty exciting. We got 2 matchups a week, so good luck to you guys week 2. All right, guys, so we got our special segment right here. We're bringing in the manager of Make America Gronk again. That's right, Mark Matroni joining the pod here in week 4. Really appreciate your time, Mark. Listen, we're going to do a little game of buy and sell. I'll give you some different stat lines here, and you're either going to buy it or you're going to sell it. All right, you got it?
What's up, Chef Dog? What's up, 6 Degrees? Thanks for having me on this week's podcast. I'm super excited to go over buy or sell. And please don't hate me after I give my answers.
All right, let's get right into it. All right, Russell Wilson, QB1 on Andy's team. He will have a career high 36-plus touchdowns on the year. You buying it or selling it?
So I'm definitely going to be buying on Wilson. He's off to a great start this year already with 14 touchdown passes and going to have a favorable matchup against the Vikings this week. I wouldn't put it past me if he throws for another 5 touchdown passes this week. I just think with the defense having some issues with some injuries, I just think it's going to be a lot of high-scoring games. So I think he's just going to be passing the ball, slinging it all over the yard. Definitely be excited if you have Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, because they're definitely going to be good ones to have. And hopefully Carson can come back with healthy. And he's just going to be another one of those monsters, too, coming out of the backfield.
All right. Aaron Jones, RB2 right now on the year. He's sitting on Jason's team. At the end of the year, he will be RB1 with over 1,200 rushing yards.
This one was a tough one for me. I am leaning towards selling. I just think Aaron Jones, even though he's a great running back, I just think the one thing that's in his way is Alvin Kamara. And Alvin Kamara is off to another great start. And a lot of it, too, I think, is with Michael Thomas being out. He's getting a lot more of the short throws to him. Definitely racking up those PPR points. But I think by the end of the season, he's definitely going to just fall 1 tier short. So I think he's still going to finish as RB2 right behind Alvin Kamara.
Listen, Julio Jones sitting on Danny's team. He's had a real slow start. He's getting nagged with injuries. Right. He will finish the season with his lowest total of receptions since 2013. That's under 83. You buying it or selling it?
This one definitely kills me because I think Julio Jones is definitely one of the top receivers in this game. But I'm going to have to buy, and I think he's going to fall just short of the 83 receptions. I think a lot of it has to do with Calvin Ridley emerging as the clear-cut number 1, as we can see from the first 3 weeks. I mean, his numbers are just insane right now. And I think there's just a lot of things that the Falcons just have to work out within their offense. I mean, if you look at just with Todd Gurley, I mean, they're not even using him in the passing game right now. And like his value is just going down. So I just think that it's going to hurt Julio Jones in the long run. He's still going to just finish just short of those 83. So let's just hope that the Falcons can learn to turn it around so that way Julio Jones can become a factor again.
All right. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, currently RB12, sitting on Zach's team. Remember, Zach took him as his first round pick. Pretty crazy, right? He will be RB5 or better at the end of the year.
This is another one that's pretty tough, but I think by the end of the season, Clyde is definitely going to finish right outside of the top 5, so I'm definitely going to be selling this one. I think he's a great running back and in a great system. The Chiefs are super high powered. I mean, they can score whenever they need to. But I ultimately think he's going to finish right outside the top 5. I still think he's going to finish the year as a top 10 running back in our league and across the fantasy boards. But I just think he's got too much competition right ahead of him we got Kamara, you got Zeke, you got Aaron Jones, you got Dalvin Cook, who really got off to a slow start, but had a really good week last week. And then Derrick Henry, who's really had a slow start, and it doesn't help that with the whole COVID outbreak that their game got suspended, but I think he's just going to finish right outside the top 5. But it wouldn't shock me if he does finish within the top 5 just because of the Chiefs powerhouse that they have going on over there. But I personally think he's going to finish right outside of the top 5, but was still within the top 10.
Okay. Andy and his Hangiolo team, they are going to finish with a points for score over 145. You buying it or selling it?
And what can I say? I'm definitely going to be buying. Andy's team is performed like crazy throughout these first couple weeks, and I mean, his team's just going to have to prove me wrong, but I still am buying on this one. I think his team is really good. It's definitely going to be one of those weeks whenever you play him, you're going to hope that your team has their A game, because you're going to need all the points you can to score, just to try to keep up and outpace Andy's team right now, because it just doesn't seem like anything can phase that guy right now. So I definitely think he'll be one of our top tier teams by the end of the year, especially having Russell Wilson and Kamara in your corner. You can't go wrong with that.
Oh, wow. Buying that one. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Okay, pick your playoff 7. Pick them.
All right. So for my top 7, no particular order, and don't hate me if your name's not on here, but I'm going with the 7 that I think are going to be in there is Andy, Jason, Zach, Tracy, myself, Rob, and Frog's team. And then I have my 2 sleeper teams is definitely going to be Momo Sherry and Kelsey. I think with Momo Sherry and Kelsey, they've just had the bad luck this year. As I was looking, their points for 2 of the top 3 that have had the most points for scored against. Tracy's right there sandwiched in between them. But I just think that Momo Sherry definitely has a really good team and a really good lineup. She's just had a lot of bad luck. And the same goes for Kelsey. I mean, she scored 141 points, which would have beat majority of most in the leagues last year, but she ended up facing Zach, who scored 180, which is insane. But I just think those 2 are definitely going to be the dark horses for me. And I think that they're going to have a really good shot of making the playoffs. So I'd hate to face them in any of my weeks, except I have to face Kelsey this week, so I'm a little nervous.
Okay, great. Couple sleeper teams you picked there, and I'm a little surprised my team wasn't on the list. I think you forgot who invited you onto this pod here, Mark. All right, so anyway, that is our buy or sell segment here with Mark. Mark, really appreciate you jumping on here.
Thanks again for the invite, Chef. Good luck to everybody in week 4, and hoping no injuries and a lot of high scoring. Go Pats.
Anyway, guys, I might be tapping you next to be on the pod, so I'll talk to you guys soon. That's buy or sell. All right, League, let's get into our week 4 preview. I was a solid 5-2 last week. Heck yeah, man, I told you I'd be above 500. Look at that. I'm 11-10 on the season. 3 of those losses because I'm always picking me anyway. So 11-10 on the season ain't too bad. Listen, we had Sherry throw in some money. She didn't get it. Andy took a shot. He didn't get it. Chris tried. He didn't get it. Kevin tried. Alex tried. Mark tried. Zach tried. Tracy tried. Jason tried. They all couldn't get it. Kelsey was the closest. She tried, and she had Mark beating Jason last week. That was her only loss. So nearly taking the money. Listen, that $30, we're going to roll it into this week. So we got $40. Hey, it's week 4, $40 on the table. You pick the right winners. Make sure to submit your picks on the thread. I'll keep an eye on them for you. All right, so getting into the picks, of course, we're going to start with my team, right? Sensimon versus Rocky's Red Rocket. Battle of the Potters. Listen, Kamish Kev, I know you need the win, but I am desperate for that win. Listen, I love the matchup for my wide receivers this week. They are looking feisty. And Cam's got COVID. So let's throw in Bridgewater. So with Bridgewater, he's going to get me like a ton of points. It's going to be crazy. Can't wait to see how that goes down. Listen, Rocky Red Rocket, he's got another tough matchup for Jackson. He's only put up a couple team points here in the last couple weeks, so he hasn't been doing all that great. I don't think he finds his rhythm this week. I really don't. Monty going against Indianapolis, and Drake, who's hit or miss. You got to take me in this one, guys. You got to take me in this one. I am desperate. I am hungry for a win. I'm going to get a ton of points. Mark my words. All right, moving on to our next matchup. It is Women Do It Better versus Make America Gronk again. Listen, outside Rodgers, who's on a real fuck you tour, Mark's team is a bunch of question marks, right? Hopkins, he's kind of hurt. We don't know. That's not good for him. And Mixon is super inconsistent. And he's got a halfback named Jay Wilson. I don't even know who the hell that guy is. He's coming out of Boise State or something. Anyway, Chubb, Adams, Boyd, Hunter Henry. Kelsey's going to take this week, and she's going to take it pretty handily. She's going to go above 500 on the year. Great win there for Women Do Get Better. Mark it down. All right, so next up we had Show Me Your TDs versus Team Momo. All right. Boy, Alex got a great start on Thursday. We've seen this happen a couple times. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but that was a big, big start. He got 30 points. 30 freaking points out of Gordon. That is awesome. Momo has some major firework power on her team. Chubb is definitely going to get the points that he needs this week, but it's not going to be good enough for her. Alex going to win this by a ton. Mark my words on that one. Alex wins this one by a ton. All right, moving on. We had Greatest of All Time versus Miles ahead of ya. Boy, these two people, they do not like each other. This is going to be a fun matchup. Let's see the trash talk going on right now. Last week, he put up 80 points. Greatest of all times. 180 points. Mahomes is going to be going for MVP. J-Robs is in for another big day. Easy matchup. And then you got the Colts looking to cut down BDN with the Chicago Bears. Listen, I like Breezy going against Detroit, and I think Gurley's poised for a big day. This matchup's going to be close. I really think it's going to be close, but it's going to be greatest of all times. He's got the most boom players right now, and they're going to boom. And Danny's team's just going to hang on and see if he can pull the victory out there at the later stages. All right, moving on to the next one. You had two apples and a lemon cookie going against Minimum is Good Enough. Listen, both teams are fresh off a win. Murray, Rojo, Lockett, they're all juiced for a big weekend. You no doubt about it. Projections got Cookie taking this one very, very easily, but I don't see it that way. No way. I think this is going to be scrappy. Watson is hit or miss. It really depends on if his wide receivers feel like catching the ball that day or not, right? And who's calling the plays. Davis, Cook, and Cooper, they should all be in for an 18-point plus day. I see this matchup 140 to 141. It's going to be a high-scoring affair, and it's going to be tight. And I like Cookies in this one. Cookies takes the win in this one. All right, moving on. We had Saved by the Bell going against the Great Chili Cook-Off. Allen and Singletary, they're in for a tough matchup in this one, right? There's a strong coach and a strong defense that might slow him down. So I'm not expecting the same kind of production. Henderson is going to feast. He's been feasting lately, so he's going to continue to feast, which is really good. Same with CeeDee Lamb. Huge CeeDee Lamb guy, right? On the other side, even though they end up losing, Matt Ryan and Ridley are combining for some heavy, heavy, heavy points. So I like Zeke in this one. Of course I do. And Chris's flex position is kind of questionable. But when it comes to Monday night, we're going to see Matt Ryan and we're going to see Calvin Ridley get 70 points. And they're going to take down Saved by the Bell. So give me the Great Chili Cook-Off in this one. And this in my matchup of the week. We got 2 3-0 teams getting ready to battle it out. It is your number 1 team, Hangiolo, going against your number 3 ranked team, Lynchburg Lynx. Boy, this is going to be a lot of points. I'm excited for this one. You have Galladay. He is turning heads, and this is the exact thing that Andy was looking for coming out of Galladay. He needs a wide receiver 1 on his team real bad, and he's getting ready to get it. Galladay's turning it up. Really excited about that one. And then with Wilson and Kamara, those guys are scoring a ton of points. I think, respectively, they're RB1 and QB1 in the league right now. Pretty crazy. So they're going to tally a ton of points. Aaron Jones, he's going to have an outstanding day. Brady, he's going to have a good day. These guys are going to really put up some really good numbers. I think Jason goes over his projection, but Andy gets himself another 150-pointer, which is crazy to me. He's scoring all these damn points. Anyway, I like Hangiolo in this one. He's going to be 4-0, sitting at the bird seat up at the top of the table. Anyway, those are your Week 4 preview picks. Get your picks in. Throw them on the old chat. All right, guys. He was 1-0 last week. Hopefully you took his pick because he made some money there, and he throw you in a little bonus pick there for Sunday Night Football. Anyway, back at it for Sharp Bets of the Week. This is going to be Kevin. Kevin, take it away.
Oh, hey there. It's your Commish Kev, and I'm here with your Sharp Pick of the Week. I picked against the Raiders last week, won you some cash. I'm doing it again. The Buffalo Bills head across the country to Las Vegas and play the Raiders. Guess what? The Raiders are beat up. They've got 16 players on the injury report. The Buffalo Bills look amazing. Their offense looks stout. They're only a 7-point favorite. I'm taking the Buffalo Bills on the road to cover 7 points. I suggest you put some money on it, take the cash you're going to win, and then go buy yourself something nice.
Thanks, Kev. Thanks for those picks. All right, guys, that's our show. Really appreciate you guys tuning in for another week of our podcast. Listen, we're trying to keep the time down. We got a lot to unpack, a lot to talk about. So if this went a little bit longer than you expected, I'm sorry about that. Anyway, we'll keep these shows going. Really appreciate it. Thanks for calling the Rant Line. For those that called the Rant Line, I enjoy putting this stuff up here. Thanks again for Mark for being a special guest, getting here by yourselves. Anyway, guys, good luck to week 4. We already got some COVID news going on here. Kevin, you're doing a great job keeping the league informed. Really appreciate it. Anyway, guys, good luck and more injuries.